Knack, the game 90s kids begged for, but didn't know it.
I should probably start this off by saying I love platform games. Easy, difficult, it doesn't matter. The genre itself has stuck with me for years, probably because they were some of the first games I played growing up. Some of my earliest memories are of my dad and I playing Super Mario Bros. In the spare room. We never got far, but each time we got to a new level, it was like our own little achievement. As time went on, we went from playing Super Mario Bros. On the NES to games like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon on PlayStation 1. Platform games being all I had growing up, it's pretty clear to see why the genre has stuck with me. As time went by, platform games either got too repetitive or weren't challenging enough for me. I needed more. I moved on to story-driven games like Metal Gear Solid, Halo, and The Last of Us. I always end up replaying through my classics, but as games get more and more realistic and story-driven, and as my life gets more and more hectic, it's hard to find a game that doesn't take hours and hours to commit to. With the announcement of a Crash Bandicoot remaster on PlayStation 4 at E3 this year, it seems like Sony may be on the verge of introducing the genre of platformers to the story-driven games. With that, I figured it's time to talk about the Crash Bandicoot remaster we all wanted, but never knew we got.
Knack is a modern platformer released on the PS4 in 2013, written and directed by Mark Cerny. Created in Japan by SCEJ to showcase the power of the PS4, Knack comes off as more of a glorified tech demo rather than a game. The game attempts to meld the platformer with the story-driven genre, something I think it does very poorly, keeping in mind that the game is aimed at a younger audience. The world we are thrown into is a world at war with a race of goblins, with their leader being Gundahar. The acclaimed Dr. Vargas is studying an ancient bunch of shit from an ancient civilization. He steals a bunch of blocks from an old dead child and finds a way to give them consciousness. What he gets is Knack, our hero. Doc V thinks Knack will help humanity end the war against the goblins. It becomes clear, both through the story and the gameplay, that there's going to be a lot going against Knack. One of the first and main things going against him is the gameplay. Knack follows suit with Crash Bandicoot in the sense that there are very minimal main controls. One button attacks, and another button jumps. That's it. People looking for a deeper platformer will be disappointed with the gameplay here because it never gets any more complex. What you learn in the first few levels is all you will learn. Knack does have a few sunstone powers like a ground pound, a targeting attack to hit multiple enemies, and a powerful tornado attack. There are situational attacks Knack can use like lifting cars or climbing buildings, but they are extremely predictable and boring. There are a handful of new gameplay elements thrown in later in the story, but the core gameplay remains the same: punch and jump. This is where Knack fails in my opinion, the gameplay. It's just boring. The game starts out feeling fresh and fun, but as you progress through the campaign you quickly get bored of the controls. Games like Crash and Mario have very basic controls, but still manage to keep the game interesting and fresh, all the while introducing new gameplay concepts and powers as you progress to keep the player interested. Knack never changes, it stays safe and keeps the player doing the same tasks throughout the 10-hour campaign. The game also includes a very bland co-op mode. A second player can take control of a grey Knack that can collect pieces and grow just as player 1 can. However, the second player only really serves as cannon fodder for Knack, as the enemies will target whoever is closest to them. There are no secret paths to take with the second player, no benefits. It's sad because the couch co-op genre is dying faster than a Nintendo fan game gets DMCA'd. The next thing Knack has against it is the difficulty. The difficulty levels ramp up extremely quick, making normal mode feel too easy, but hard mode feels like it gets too hard too fast. The enemies attack way too fast for Knack to recover, and be able to attack fast enough to get to the next chapter. Maybe it's just me, and it could be, but I found normal too easy, and hard too hard. Seeing as how this is a game marketed towards a younger audience, this rampant difficulty could leave many younger gamers looking for more. The story is the other thing Knack has against it. The game to me feels like it's trying to go for a save the environment and anti-war message. It doesn't come off as overly preachy, but is extremely predictable and safe. Knack plays everything extremely safe, from story to gameplay, even to marketing. The game was advertised as a must-have for PS4 owners, and was trying to be the next Crash Bandicoot. It hyped up its particle effects and gameplay much like every PS4 launch game did, and put a very large image in gamers' minds. As such, the game was almost universally panned, receiving a 4 out of 10 from Eurogamer, a 4 out of 10 from GameSpot, and a 5.9 out of 10 from IGN. Knack in itself, in its core form, is not a bad game, and does have potential to be the next Crash Bandicoot. However, this first attempt won't be getting it there. With a multitude of gameplay mechanics that could be implemented, a story that leaves something to be desired, and a lackluster co-op mode, Knack is not the next Crash Bandicoot.